Have you ever looked someone in the eyes, smiled, and in that exact moment decided you were going to take every single thing they loved? My name is Riley Harper. 3 years ago, I was engaged to the man every magazine called the Golden Boy of New York real estate. Grayson Caldwell, 32, heir to Caldwell Luxury Developments, private jets, Hamptons, summers. His face on the cover of Forbes 30 Under 30 twice. He used to kiss me in front of the paparazzi outside Nobu and tell reporters I was the best thing that ever happened to him. Then one rainy October night in Manhattan. I came home early from a site visit in Brooklyn. Our Tribeca penthouse was almost completely dark, except for a thin line of light under the bedroom door. I heard his laugh. Low, lazy, the one I thought was only for me, and a woman's voice I recognized instantly. I pushed the door open. There he was, my fiancé in the bed we picked out together, with my best friend, since NYU, Lauren. They didn't jump, they didn't panic. Grayson just leaned back against the headboard, lit a cigarette like we were in some movie, and gave me that same crooked smile he used on investors. Close the door on your way out. Babe, he said, we're kinda busy. Lauren pulled the sheet up just enough and added, don't worry, Riley, I'll take good care of him, and everything else you thought was yours. I stood there frozen, the 5-carat ring he'd put on my finger 6 months earlier, suddenly burning like acid. My legs wouldn't move. My voice was gone. 2 weeks later, he ended the engagement with a single text, changed the locks on the penthouse, and froze every card that had Caldwell money behind it. I had helped run half his projects for 4 years, fixed his messes, closed his deals, but on paper I was nothing. Just the girlfriend. No equity, no legal claim. Within days the stories hit page 6. Caldwell air splits from unstable fiancé. Sources say Riley Harper stole designs and was fired. Clients I'd brought in ghosted me. Friends I'd known since college looked the other way in Soho. Overnight I had one suitcase, $47,000 I'd quietly saved, and a reputation in ashes. But here's the part Grayson never understood. I don't break, I rebuild, and I rebuild taller than he ever dreamed. I disappeared from New York the same week. No goodbye parties, no dramatic Instagram posts. I got on the Acela to Miami with nothing but that suitcase and a second-hand MacBook Pro. I rented a 400-square-foot studio in Wynwood, taped blackout curtains over the windows, and started working 20 hours a day. I knew every crack in Caldwell Luxury Developments because I had personally sealed most of them while Grayson was on someone's yacht. I knew which projects were bleeding cash, which permits were bought with envelopes of cash, which shell companies he used to hide kickbacks from his own father. And because he never thought I was smart enough to be dangerous, he never changed the passwords on the shared iCloud drive. For 10 straight months I built in complete silence. New company, Harper & Hudson Developments, registered in Delaware. Zero connection to my old life. I poached the best architects and engineers he'd fired for refusing to sign off on shortcuts. I collected every incriminating email, every wire transfer, every late-night recorded call where he laughed about owning the zoning board. I waited, exactly 1 year to the day after he threw me out. Caldwell Luxury announced their crown jewel, a 92-story supertoll on Billionaires Row. Black tie gala at the new Cipriani downtown. CNBC live feed. Every broker and hedge fund wife in the city dying to be seen. Grayson took the stage in Tom Ford, flashing that billion-dollar smile, promising the tower would redefine Manhattan forever. That was the night I walked back into his world. I wore a custom crimson Laquan Smith gown, back completely open, diamonds I bought with my own money dripping from my neck and wrists. Security tried to stop me at the velvet rope until I handed them the gold foil invitation. Ms. Riley Harper, founder and CEO, Harper & Hudson Developments. Grayson spotted me from the stage. The champagne flute in his hand shook so hard it spilled across his shoes. I walked straight down the center aisle, past whispering guests, took the microphone from the stunned host, and smiled at 300 of the richest people in New York. Good evening, I said, voice calm and clear. Most of you know me as Grayson Caldwell's crazy ex-fiancé, the one he threw away like trash. Tonight I'm simply here to take out the garbage. The room went dead silent. Behind me the 80-foot LED wall lit up. Bank records, Venmo payments to city officials, photos of Grayson on a yacht in the Caymans handing briefcases to a deputy mayor, audio of him bragging about buying inspectors. Every dirty secret he thought was buried. I turned to him. You took my home, my name, my future. Tonight, I'm taking the one thing you love more than yourself. Your company. I pressed one button on my phone. Bloomberg, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Times, CNBC, every major outlet received the full dossier at the exact same second. Within minutes, the Southern District of New York confirmed federal raids were starting at Caldwell, headquarters in Midtown, and the family estate in the Hamptons. Grayson tried to run. My security, ex-NYPD, I'd hired months earlier. Blocked every exit. Asterisk, then I looked across the room at Lauren, standing ghost-white in a dress that used to hang in my closet. I walked over slowly, slipped the diamond tennis bracelet off my wrist, the exact one Grayson bought her last month, and let it drop into her champagne flute with a soft plink. Asterisk, keep it, I said sweetly. I upgraded. Asterisk, 6 months later, Caldwell Luxury Developments was dead. The feds seized everything. The billionaire's Row site went into foreclosure. Grayson lost the Hamptons house, the G-Wagon, the Patek collection. Last I heard, he was hiding in a studio apartment in Jersey City, selling watches on Chrono 24 to pay rent. Asterisk, I bought the bankrupt shell of his company at auction for 22 cents on the dollar. Rebranded it, Harper Tower Holdings. Kept one tiny subsidiary named Caldwell Properties, so his name appears on legal paperwork until he dies. Asterisk, and Lauren. She showed up at my new Midtown headquarters 3 weeks ago, mascara running down her cheeks, begging for any job that would pay rent. Asterisk, I gave her one. Front desk receptionist, $42,000 a year. Same marble lobby where she used to wait for Grayson's driver. Now she stands up and says, "Good morning, Ms. Harper," to every single person who once crossed the street to avoid me. Asterisk, Grayson tried to see me once. Waited outside my building in pouring rain for 4 hours. When I finally walked out, he dropped to his knees on 57th Street. Asterisk, Riley, I'm sorry, I was so wrong. Please. I stopped under my umbrella and looked down at him. Sorry, doesn't give me back the nights I cried in an airport hotel with one suitcase. Grayson, sorry doesn't erase the lies you sold to the entire city. I crouched so we were eye to eye. You wanted everything I had. Now I have everything you had. And the difference, I earned every brick. You just inherited yours. Asterisk, I stood up and walked away. He stayed on the sidewalk, getting soaked. Asterisk, today Harper Tower Holdings is the fastest growing luxury developer on the East Coast. Forbes put me on the cover last month with the headline, "The Woman Who Built a Billion-Dollar Empire from a Broken Heart." Asterisk, I still have that crimson gown hanging in my closet. Sometimes I take it out and look at the girl who once thought love was enough to keep her safe. Asterisk, she was wrong. Asterisk, love can be stolen in a single night. Power that you build yourself. That can never be taken. Asterisk, so if you're watching this right now and someone cheated on you, lied about you, left you with nothing, listen to me. They didn't destroy you, they set you free. Asterisk, take every tear, every sleepless night, every person who turned their back, and turn it into rocket fuel. Disappear, if you have to. Work while they're sleeping, plan while they're partying. And when the moment is perfect, walk back into their world wearing the crown they swore you'd never touch. Asterisk, because the sweetest revenge isn't ruining their life. Asterisk, it's building yours so big, so bright, so untouchable that every time they hear your name for the rest of theirs, they remember the day they decided you weren't worth keeping. Asterisk, I took his company, I took his reputation, took the life he thought was bulletproof. Asterisk, and now the entire country knows my name. Asterisk, his is just the footnote at the bottom of my success story. Asterisk, if you've been betrayed, save this video. Play it every time you feel small. Then go build something they can never take away. I did, you will too. Asterisk, I'll be waiting at the top, with the best view in the city.